Freedom Fighters, I'm coming back at you with another one. Well, I was just, thinking over my last video over the weekend and thinking about different topics and figuring out what I was going to do. I mean, I've just been, super busy. Like I said, just got back off vacation and catching up with work stuff, and I've got doctor's appointments and dentists and everything in the mix, and was just thinking about, like, what's going on and just all about the craziness of, I don't know what you want to call it, the modern world and everything, which was kind of like my previous video was about, the you'll own nothing and be happy scam of a system that we're living in. And if you haven't watched that video, go back and check that one out. But it was basically about the story of, what I'm going through, with my grandma right now, and pretty much how they took her whole retirement and everything she's ever worked for, and how, people these days aren't even going to be able to afford to retire. I mean, nobody can afford to retire, but the whole thing is a scam, and just everything, man. And so that's kind of what I've been pondering on the last, couple days or weeks, even previous to that video. I've just been thinking about, the craziness, the state of the world, the hustle and bustle, the rat race, kind of thing. And I posted a video about that Wrangle Star posted a few days ago. It might be a week, by now. I can't even remember when it was, but it was a really good video, and I recommend you check that one. I mean, check out Wrangle Star if you haven't. He's put out lots of good videos all throughout the years. His content has always been, on point and, pretty much, on the money. And this one video, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was basically like Let It Burn or something like that. And it was just like he was calling out, what I've said, previous times before, and one of the main points he was making was like where we're at is actually worse than the collapse. Like, and it's kind of like, I mean, I know people feel like that sometimes. Like, sometimes you're just like, let it burn, right? Like, let it fall, let it collapse, so we can get to the next phase, and we can rebuild. And I know a lot of times this feels like it is worse than the collapse, but it's one of those things where it is, be careful what you wish for, because when it does collapse and you don't have running water, and um, electricity is nice. We talked about, stuff like that before, and I think it was my video, like, ripping off the band-aid or something, where we're talking about, like, we just want to, you got to just grab it and tear it off and get it over with, but at the same time, there's going to be a lot of hell that comes with that situation, right? There's a lot of horror and bloodshed and, sweat and tears that get involved in that collapse. But, at the same time, this slow death by a thousand cuts, and I did a video about that too. I've done several videos on that. Um, but, it's just like that long burn. And I think it was the video I recently did too, which was like, the worst thing to happen is nothing to happen. And have you prepared for nothing to happen? Because then this just continues. Your prices go up, you get priced out of everything, you can't afford to live, and all the craziness that goes on, and the unattainable lifestyle, or I guess, like, yeah, quality of life, where you're not asking for much, right? You're just like the middle class lifestyle your parents or your grandparents were able to afford, on just a regular job, a regular salary, and you could live life, and the dream, the American dream, which, we've talked about that, and they talk about it all the time, that you have to be asleep to believe, but then there's that now we're in this psycho liberal, I don't know, progressive clown world, whatever you want to call it, of just, insanity. I mean, you look at, like, libs of TikToks or something, and I'm not a big fan of her videos or whatnot, or of her per se, because mainly what she pushes. She has an agenda as well, but she also puts out there, the insanity of a lot of these people. And we are a mental and sick society. She puts out all these videos of, the drag queens at your kid's school. So, the jacked up, roided out man beating women at sport. I always think about that South Park episode, strong woman. And it's like Macho Man Randy Savage, and he goes as trans, and he's like beating them and everything, like shot put and all these Olympic sports, track, and I think he does boxing as well. And I mean, it's a meme, but it's literal at this point. Like, it is the real deal. It's happening. You got the Leah Thomas in swimming, and all this just insanity is hitting new levels of just like, I can't take it anymore. And it's just like, you sit back and you see it, which I want to do another video about that, because, like, I was on vacation and I was like separating myself from that, and that was really good. And I'm gonna do another video. That was one of the topics I wanted to cover. And then I just put down the phone and said, you know what, I'm not gonna make videos. And um, there was other factors at play there, but um, it's just, all this other crazy stuff. And then I get up and then I look on the news, and it's always some crazy thing. And been trying to catch up to stuff going on. And oh yeah, did you see this play they put on? I mean, it had all these famous singers and actors and stuff like that, and they had the Wicked Witch from Oz to play Jesus. And I don't know, it was some Broadway play. I don't know if it was like a rendition of Passion of the Christ, or some biblical play or whatever. I'm not sure exactly which one it was, but she was still in witch form. She was playing a witch, but as Jesus. And people were like, oh no, she's some kind of demon, or, something like that. Louder with Crowder did a video on it and said she was Nosferatu. And, like, that's what she did, man. She looked all, like, freakish, like, freaking had these claws, and she looks like, super, just like her ribs are showing, and, like, she just, and it's like, another thing, ultimately what they're doing is mocking God. It's a leftist play with a bunch of woke celebrities, and they're openly mocking God. And Crowder was like, yeah, okay, now do Mohammed, right? Like, they'll never, hire some trans, woke, um, celebrity, a woman, or, trans celebrity to play Mohammed and disgrace his name and his image like that. But they have no problem doing it, with God or with Jesus, because, Christians never stand up. And I did a video about that called Christians Need to Stand Up. They openly mock us, and they openly degrade our culture, and, make a joke out of it. But um yeah, it was just crazy, man. And these people are just, look, straight up ghoulish. And I really believe it is like this evil form that has taken place, as like, that has got these people's souls. And this wicked witch lady, I forget her name. It's something complicated. I think it's like a Revo or something like that. But even the girl in Oz, I guess she played Dorothy. I don't know. I didn't watch the movie, but it was by Ariana Grande. And same thing with people. People have been gossiping about her for a while. Like, she looks, like she's been through some shit. Like, either some Hollywood rituals, or she's like missing out on her adrenochrome or whatever. And I'm joking. I say that as a joke, but I don't know, man. Like, something is happening to these people where they're like, it looks like their souls have just been sucked out of them. And people are like, oh yeah, it's the Ozempic or whatever. And I don't think it is, man. Like, I think these people are genuinely sick and they're going through like mental battles. And yeah, when you're mocking God and everything, I mean, that's gonna be definitely gonna be something that hits you that way. But this other girl, I don't even know her name either, but she plays Wendy or whatever, Wednesday on the Addams Family. Same thing. You know, moderately or attractive young woman, and then they show her recent pictures, and like just soul sucked. Um, Again, like I don't know if it's the plastic surgery or what it is, but I can't imagine these women actually want to look this way. And I don't know if that's just the trend now or something. I mean, back in the day, it used to be the bimbo phase, right? Like it used to be like huge fake tits and implants and the huge blown up lips and Botox, and all of it looks weird and strange. Like I don't understand, like why you just don't stay natural or whatnot. But um yeah, I mean, just these people, when you're walking around with the appearance of a ghoul, and you look like, I mean, if you want to look like a ghoul, or you identify as a ghoul, because these days I guess you can do anything. I mean, that's your prerogative, I guess. But then when you're playing Jesus or something, that's a whole nother deal. Again, that was done. And if you look into the producer and the people who put on the film and everything, it's always the same. I don't even have to say it, right? Every single time. you know. And the other thing I saw was Little Tay. I don't know if you guys ever seen her. She probably came across your feed at one point or another. I don't follow her. I don't know anything, but she comes across your feed. You probably saw her videos when she was a little kid, where she would come in the room and be like, "Oh, Little Tay, does this and that, and she makes more money than you." And she would throw stacks of cash around and stuff. And it was, like a funny little, thing that she did. And I thought she died or something. Like she disappeared, and then I heard like she was actually smart or something, and that she got into schooling, and there was like her parents sued or something, and took her money or held her money until her 18th birthday. That's usually what happens to these young celebrities or whatnot. But she reappeared, and on her 18th birthday, on the dot, got on to OnlyFans and broke the record, making like $3 million, I think they said, in a couple hours. Um, and that seems to be the go-to thing now, and that's what they're all doing. The Cash Me Outside girl did the same thing. Right on her 18th birthday, they go right into digital prostitution. Um, and one of the Disney girls did the same thing. I don't know if that was the Delphine or whatever, Bella Delphine. I can't remember if she was in Disney or something, but I know a few of the Disney girls have done the same thing, or Nickelodeon or whatever it is. They're on the kids shows, and then they hit 18 and it's like boom. And that's what the society has pushed, right? You know, Boss Girl, and go slay queen and get the bag, and do this shit. And it's just insanity, man. It is insanity. And when you look at it from my perspective, or I guess our perspective, I don't know. I mean, let me know what you think. Maybe I'm the only one, but I don't think I'm the only one, right? I think this is a common belief in what a vast majority of the population thinks, and we might not be the majority anymore. We may be in the minority, and people think this is regular to live like this, and just this fucking crazy, man. Everything in this society is just it's a fallen world, man. We are truly in a fallen world. And I've heard people say, that this is hell. And I'm like, I don't believe this is literal hell. This is a proving ground. This is a test ground. But for sure it has hellish influences, and the demons and the devil are real. And they are, influencing and pushing their agendas. It's like that poem, "If the Devil Were Real," or like what I forget exactly what it was called. Like "If I Were the Devil," I think is what it was, and it says like all the stuff they would push, and that they would try to act like the devil isn't real, that heaven and hell isn't real, and that all this degenerate evil stuff is good, and like go live your best life and live as a heathen and a degenerate, and do all this crazy crap and just be garbage and bring the insanity to the world. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think about it, and I'm probably going to do some different things. If you like this topic, I'll probably touch on this again because, I've been thinking about it for a while and I probably have more to say on it. I'll probably hit back on that topic, man. But till the next one, you know what it is, man. We are on our own. Nobody's coming to save us. So get right with God because only God can save you. Freedom fighters out.